In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my bestseller. We're going to talk about why I got started with it in the first place, why I tried to avoid it for quite a while, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about how I made it, some bumps along the way, or some things I've learned along the way that hopefully will help you if this is something you'd like to add to your booth or your shop.
I got started with monogram gift tags on a whim. I had wanted to learn how to decoupage, and I was very much struggling with doing it correctly and really making it look how I wanted. And it wasn't until I started watching Royce. She and her husband do these craft nights live on Sunday nights on YouTube and I believe on other platforms. She had talked about in one of those lives how if you were just getting started, to start with something small. So that's how I came upon starting with these tags. Really, it was just supposed to be practice so that I could get better at doing decoupage using the techniques that I learned from Royce. After trying and practicing multiple times, I finally came upon the right balance of how much decoupage medium to use, how much of the water mister to use, and really created what became very easy and versatile for me to not only make, but also make in bulk. I absolutely fell in love with this method and using a variety of other things in my stash, it was something I was able to use or to be able to create very, very easily and sold very well at my very first craft show. After that first show, I spent a long time creating so many different styles using stamps, using wood rounds, really coming up with a wide variety. And that made it really fun for my customers to come in and shop. But here's why I tried to avoid keeping this product part of my fairs. Honestly, trying to keep up with the inventory when you have 26 different items to sell is very difficult and even more challenging when you're not quite sure how much of which letter you're going to need at any given show or even online. Knowing how successful these monogram gift tags were, I knew that it was something I wanted to maintain and I wanted to bring to my website. So I had to get more strategic with my inventory planning. Now, planning to make these tags and stock them seems really simple because they are so easy to make. However, when you have to make enough of each letter or know what you need of each letter, it's actually more challenging than you might think. A lot of these packages that you can get on Amazon or Temu are wonderful and they're very, very cost effective. However, you get an equal number of letters for each of these letters. So even though I might not need four of X, Y, and Z, I am actually getting four of each letter, which also means my most popular letters like S or A, I might not have enough of them for my shows. So I need to make sure that I have enough of the letters that I need and not overdo the letters I don't need. I've tried a lot of different ways to figure out the best way to come up with these ratios, but I thought that this time I would try using ChatGPT to see if it would help me come up with a better plan. So, based on recommendations from ChatGPT, I had three tiers of letters. One that was 50 to 55% of my stock, the second tier at 30 to 35% of my total stock, and then the third tier that would be 10 to 15% of my stock. Here's where the challenge comes in. This was the list of the most common letters that I was given. However, two of those letters do not sell very often for me. And two letters that consistently sell out for me were listed in tier 3 instead of tier 1. This is not okay. So I took a look at all of the tiers and made some adjustments to what I know I need for my own inventory because of the clientele that I have. This will be different depending on your customer base and what names, initials might be more popular in your area. So make sure to keep this in mind. Okay, so this is how I create my tags. I pretty much use any type of tag, any base that I want to use that has a hole in it. I will say that I have learned some styles and some shapes are much easier to decoupage with than others. For example, some of those curved tags that have those scalloped edges are very, very challenging to decoupage with when you need to sand down those extra pieces off the side. So I have decided to keep at the rectangular shape as well as the standard price tag shape and circles as what I use when I'm decoupaging when I'm using those scalloped edges or this beautiful ornate frame shape. I will probably create tags that do not require decoupage. When I am going to decoupage, I have used a variety of things to decoupage with. That includes book pages like this, scrapbook paper, or any type of sheets that I've gotten off of Temu or Amazon or even gone to Michael's. So any of these things can work. What I will say is that I personally prefer Roy Cycle decoupage paper as my decoupage medium for these tags. I maybe it's because I feel a level of comfort, but it has been the easiest for me. It is the tags that I feel have the best quality when they're done. But even ones like this is actually just a tissue paper, like gift wrap tissue paper that I've used. That can work as well. So find what works for you, whether it's a napkin or paper, anything that is easiest for you to use, and then find a shape that is the easiest for you to decoupage with so you don't have to go through the tedious process of sanding down those scalloped edges or trying to trim and fussy cut each of the pages before you decoupage them on. For today's tags, what I'm going to do is just grab anything that I can find in my stash. I want to use up all these little scraps that I've saved up and find ways to create some vibrant and different colors because we are coming out of Christmas and I'm really trying to think about items that I want to add to my website that are more spring themed, spring colors. As I was digging through my stash, I also found a wide variety of other tags that I started and never finished over the last couple years. So we're going to get those done today too. Now, I know that you've heard this before. You want to make sure that you paint your base in white prior to decoupaging because it really allows that paper to pop and stand out. The other reason that I like to do this is there are times when I've tried to decoupage directly onto that raw wood, and because the wood soaks up the decoupage medium so much, I will have that paper start to fall off and it doesn't remain as intact as it does when I have a other type of paint. Typically, I use a chalk style paint or a clay based paint as a base for my decoupage. I still like to mist my paper when I'm decoupaging, even though these tags are so tiny, just because I find that it really allows those fibers to release and provides a much better, I guess, adhesion. It looks like it's more a part of the tag. The one thing I do have to do at the very end, though, once everything is dry, is ensure that those little edges are all completely adhered because there are times that I see that the edges might not have as much glue on them as they need to remain completely sealed. When I am misting my paper, I do like to put the decoupage medium on top of that misted paper immediately because it will ensure that that paper stays intact where it was initially adhered and not shrink up as it dries. When I'm using something like a piece of a book page or something like that, I typically will wait to seal the top until after it is dry. Once everything is completely dry, I come back in with a finger sander and sand down all of that excess paper. And this is what I mean about using those scalloped edges. It is much more challenging to sand down where those scalloped edges are. What I typically do is I grab the edge of that finger sander and kind of push it into the where it goes in the most, I guess, on that scallop and rub in a downward motion to get as much of that excess paper off from within those scalloped edges. Once everything is sanded, I do need to poke a hole right where the hole is for the string that'll go on my tags. And I'm just using this tool and poking it into the hole and then kind of rubbing it around in a circular motion so that I can get all of that excess paper either folded in or out of that little circle. This has worked very well for me and it definitely makes things go a lot faster when I do each of these steps in bulk. For these tiny tags, I will be using these Scrabble tiles. I grabbed these in bulk off of Amazon. And yes, the number of letters are not necessarily what would be equivalent to what I need for my inventory. But what I'm doing with these tags is really just filling up the ones that I need more of now. So I have plenty of certain letters and not enough of other letters. And I am just making those choices right now. The other reason I didn't want to use a wood cutout tag is because I am working with a wide variety of different patterns and colors, and I didn't want to bog myself down with trying to figure out what paint color I needed for each one of the little letter tags. So it's much easier to use this more neutral Scrabble tile, which goes with everything. Now, I know you saw me use some hot glue earlier in this video, but I will say that tacky glue or Type Bond Quick and Thick are going to be the ideal glue for this project, especially given that those Scrabble tiles have a little bit of a sheen on the back of them, which could make it more difficult for them to adhere, especially with hot glue. That is what I started using instead of hot glue, and I find that those tags stay well intact for a longer period of time or in a better way than some of those ones I did early on where I was using hot glue. And sometimes I could see the glue between the letter and the tile that's behind it, or I'm sorry, the tag that's behind it. Or sometimes it would, with the heat or with the change in temperatures, the hot glue wouldn't hold up as much as I would like it to. Those of you who have hot glue that works really well like that, please let me know in the comments. Does it hold up for you for an extended period of time? Maybe it's just the climate that I'm in that makes it not work as well for me. Even the Gorilla hot glue does not work very well for me. I let those tags dry for several hours and now I'm going in with some dark wax and I'm covering the entire back of each of the tags with that dark wax. This is another thing that over the years I've kind of gone back and forth about what to do with the tags. I do not like to paint both sides because I find that it ends up looking a little bit more sloppy. But I went through a period where I didn't want to use wax because I had my mom kind of in my ear telling me, well, what if somebody wants to write to and from on the back of the tag? And I know that you really can't write on the waxed surface. So after kind of thinking about this over and over again, I've decided that what looks the cleanest and what I've seen sell the best is just finishing it off with that dark wax. And I don't need the to and from on there because obviously the monogram kind of allows it to show who it's for. Because I plan to list these tags on my website, I knew I needed to find a better way to stay organized and be able to find any of the tags that I sell much easier than dumping everything into a box together. So I created these little boxes. Most of them have just one letter. There are a few boxes where I didn't, like, I know that I don't need a lot of Q's, so I can fit Q and R together in one box. So that's pretty much how I have it set up right now so that I can find the inventory when I need it and when it sells. The other thing I wanted to do was find an easy way to sort everything in my craft space so I can grab it quickly and also be able to store everything quickly after I finish making it. I now have all of my items in stock on my website. I've listed them, I've photographed them, they are all set to go. You can see all the different styles that I've created. You're welcome to purchase them. They're a great add on gift or an add on to any gift that you may shop for. And also, they provide some great inspiration if this is something you want to DIY for yourself. The other thing that I've added to my website was a set of wood cutouts. And let me explain a little bit of why I decided to offer these cutouts. Not only are they a very quality type of basswood, it is 3 millimeters thick, which is a little different than what I personally have found when I've shopped at some of the other places like Amazon or Temu. How the other reason is I wanted to make sure I offered the same quantity using those tiers that we've discussed, knowing that my most popular letters I need more of, and I don't need a lot of like the Y, the X, and the Z. The other thing that I wanted to make sure I added these for is for one very specific reason. This one letter I. Letter I is the one letter that drives me crazy because I can't tell you how often I will grab a letter set and the I is literally just a line. When you are using a monogram, in my opinion, a straight line down with nothing else, when it is not paired with other letters to create a word, just doesn't look right. I made sure that all of the fonts that I used have an I that has the line at the top and the bottom, just like this. If you are a booth owner, if you have a storefront, or if you just want to stock up, I do have a wholesale order that you can create right here on my website. When you choose this option, you will be able to choose certain things, not everything, but you could choose the tag shape between two options. You can choose if you want it to be a solid color or if you would like a decoupage or stamped pattern behind it. And you can also give me a little bit more of a description of what you're looking for and then the letter color or style you would like to have on your tags. I do plan to make these wholesale orders tags that will all look the same or at least as similar as possible so they are part of a similar collection or the same collection. So if this is something you're interested in, you can grab this. I also have suggested resale prices available in that description.